There's a huge misconception that in order for you to be in the IT industry, you need to know how to code. And that's actually not true, because I'm living proof of that. I am in the IT industry and I know zero code. I've never written a script before. I don't even know some of the languages that are out there, like just knowing them. I don't know some of the languages that are out there. I'm not a programmer. I'm not a developer. I know how to read code, but even then, I know enough to do my job, right? Just to find out which field is sitting in which table. That's it. That's literally all I need to know. So yeah, I'm going to go through 5 high-paying jobs, non-coding jobs in the IT industry. I'm going to tell you what they entail. I'm going to tell you some of the qualifications that I know you can go out and get for you to sort of like land the job. I'm not going to tell you how much they pay. That you can research on your own. But yeah, 5 high-paying non-coding jobs in the IT industry. Let's go. Role number 1 is that of a product manager. Now, this individual in Agile, we call them the product owner, right? Same thing. This individual owns the product, right? This individual understands the vision. They know the vision, they shape the vision, they own the vision. It's theirs. They approach the IT team and says, I want you to build a website for me. I want you to build a dashboard. I want you to build a report. I want you to build an application. They know exactly what they want. They have the vision in their heads, and it is the duty of the IT team to then implement that vision. This individual is most likely going to be your main stakeholder and most likely going to be from the business side. So they don't need to know how to code. They don't need to know how to program. They're not going to be in the process of building the thing. They'll tell you what they want, so you give it to them, right? And the qualification that I know of, just one that I know of, is of the Scrum product owner. That's like a SAFe certificate. It's not mandatory to be SAFe certified, but I know a lot of companies are going and implementing the SAFe framework and SAFe methodology, or like agile way of doing things. So if you get yourself the Scrum product owner or the SAFe agile product owner certificate, it can help you land the job, right? So yeah, that's role number 1. Role number 2 is that of a project manager. Now, you have your product owner who will say, this is what I want. The project manager will make sure that they plan and they execute the product or the project, right? So they will also manage every single person that's involved in the project itself. So they stick to costs. They will look at making sure that we stay within the budget for the project. They will make sure that we stick to timelines. So if you're going to say the project is going to take us 12 months, the project needs to take us 12 months. And if it's not, then you look to the project manager, like, what's happening? And they also are very much involved in pinpointing milestones and deliverables that we need to complete in order for the project to be complete, right? So if you know that you are good with communicating, you know that you are good with managing people, you know that you are good with what else? Like, you just naturally organized and you know how to stick to deadlines and timelines, then you can be a project manager. And 2 qualifications that I know of: 1, I know of the Agile Project Manager certificate, and then there's, everybody knows this, the Project Management Professional, the PMP certificate. So if you get those 2, then you can join the IT industry and be a project manager. And really, it's like dope. You don't need to know how to code, right? But you're gonna have to manage people and manage project and huge projects that involve like money, and you don't want to mess up. But anyway, yes, that is role number 2. The third role is that of a user experience, user interface designer. I know in some companies this is one role. In other companies, you get your user experience designer, you get your user interface designer, you even get like user experience researchers. So these individuals deal with like the final product and making sure that whatever is being built, the product itself, it's user friendly, right? If it's going to be an app, if you need to teach people and have people go on tutorials and classes on how to navigate your application, it's a fail. For me, no, I'm not doing it. I remember there was a time when I wanted to set up a PayPal account because I use FNB and I have these candles that I sell and things like that. And I wanted to put them on Etsy, but Etsy, you need to have a PayPal account, right? And I wanted to set that up. Till this day, I don't have a PayPal account because I went on the FNB app on my computer and tried to set up a PayPal account. And I'm just like, what the hell? I even had to go on YouTube to get a tutorial on how to set up a PayPal account on the FNB app. Till this day, I haven't done it because I'm just like, why? Why do I need to research how to use an app that's built for me? That for me does not make sense. For me, I'm just like, no. And this lady is like in the tutorial, because I watched it. In the tutorial, she's like, you need to hover on the left, and then there's like a orange menu that sort of like pops up, like a, and then you pick whatever you want. And I'm thinking to myself, why do you think I will sit here and think to myself, maybe I need to hover on the left here and then something will pop up at me and show me what I want? Like, no. And the other time I was actually with my partner and we were working on some tax invoice. I think it's a tax invoice for his company, right? So there's like a payment coming in and I think there's a tax invoice that's needed or whatever, just documents and paperwork, right? And it's something we need to do. So I had the patience to go and research for him, instructions on Google on how to navigate the Salaries app. It's a disaster. It's a disaster. You would swear these people don't want you to use their app. And like the instructions are like, on the left, click on this tab. It's not there. It's not there. It literally was not there. Like, we struggled. I did it on the app. He did it on his app. I did it on the computer. It was not working. He had to go to the Salaries offices and get it done. That is how hard it was. And you just like, what the hell? Like, who designed this thing? Do you know what I mean? So if you're good with such things, then you're good with human behavior and you're good with like the psychology of a human and how they engage with applications and making it easier for people to engage and navigate a product they've never navigated or engaged with before. Become a UX UI designer. Okay, so the fourth role is that of a business analyst, which is what I do. So listen carefully because my job is cool. And I really think a lot of people should go into business analysis because I think it's great. Business analysts, at the core of it, they gather requirements, right? And by that, I mean we sit very closely with the stakeholder or the product owner, and we ask the right questions to find out exactly what they want. So they are the person with the vision. I am the person that's going to ask you the right questions so I can document your vision and then take that document and give it to the developer to build whatever it is that you want. An example, and I heard this just the other day on YouTube actually. And if you're going to come to me and say, make me a cup of coffee, right? I wanted to have sugar, 2 spoons of sugar. I wanted to have milk, right? And you think that's enough information to give me, for me to give you your coffee. And then I make your coffee, just like you said, milk, and it has 2 spoons of sugar. And I give it to you and you're like, this is not exactly what I wanted. And as a business analyst, it's my job to say, hold on. Do you want coffee or do you want Jacobs? Do you want cappuccino? Or do you want instant coffee? You know what I mean? Do you want 2 teaspoons of sugar, or do you want 2 spoons of sugar? Do you want brown sugar or white sugar? We can even talk about brand. Do you want Salati brown sugar, or you want Hewlett's brown sugar? You know, do you want Cremora? Because that's milk. Do you want Cremora? Do you want fresh milk? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is it that what exactly do you want? And that is the job of a business analyst. You sit and you ask the right questions and you document the vision as is. At no point do you expect the developer and the product owner to meet and, no. You are the middle person. You are the person between business and IT. You speak the IT language enough to do your job. You speak the business language enough to do your job. You need to be able to understand the business. When they say, I want a cup of coffee, right? We need to know exactly what you're talking about. We need to know measurements, sizes. Do you want a small cup? Do you want a big cup? Like, what are we talking about? And then you need to be able to document all of that and give it to the developer. You don't need to know code. You don't need to be a developer. You don't need to be a programmer, but you need to speak the language enough to be able to explain to the developer or document for the developer exactly what the product owner wants. Do you get what I mean? So, at the core of it, your day is just sitting, speaking to stakeholders, documenting, analyzing, asking the right questions. And for me personally, I don't know how to code. I've mentioned this before, but I know enough. And when I say enough, I know how to read scripts, right? I know how to read code enough to say, okay, this is what you want. This is the field that you want. It's sitting at this place this is the column name and it's sitting on this database, on this table, on this server. And I can look at a script and say, okay, this is the field, this is the table it's sitting at, this is, all of that. Like, just basic enough for me to put together a dope spec and give it to a developer to build a report, a dashboard, or whatever. So that's what we do as business analysts. And I think it's great. I really think it's great. And I'm currently doing a business analysis foundational program with Faculty Training Institute, and there are other places. Look, even before that, I went on Udemy and I did like a basics business analysis course. There are courses everywhere, guys. Really, there are courses everywhere. You can even do like an advanced business analysis course. I know there's a certified business analysis professional certificate that you can do, a CP, a CBAP, something like that. But yeah, courses are everywhere, right? Okay, so the fifth and final role is that of a QA tester, a quality assurance tester. And this individual comes in at the end of the product to test the thing. Does it do exactly what you said it does? Or is it teka-taking? You know what I mean? Like, if you say, if I double tap, it's going to heart the picture and even pop up a heart there right in the middle of the picture. The tester will double tap to test if that's exactly what happens, right? I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, so if it's like YouTube, you test everything. You literally look for errors and test everything. YouTube, what does it look like on a mobile phone? Like the actual view, right? And what does it look like, or how does it behave if you open it up on a laptop? How does it behave if you cast it on a TV, right? Because I would watch my YouTube on a TV. I don't have a TV, but I would. So you test all of those. How is it behaving with different platforms? How is it going to behave with different browsers? You have a website, it works perfectly with Chrome, but if you try and open it on Edge, it crashes. Like, what's going on? You test it everywhere. If it's supposed to be compatible with Edge, test it. Is it fine? Is it fine with Firefox? Is it fine with, what's that, Microsoft, not Edge, what's the other one? Explorer. Yeah, like, you test the thing and put it under extreme settings, extreme pressure, extreme environments. If it's meant to run for 24 hours, test it and make it run for 48 hours and see at what point does it crash, right? Imagine if Instagram would crash every single time you have like 1 million users logged on at the same time and the thing crashes. That would suck, you know? So you test the thing, and when you like, you know what, nah, this thing survives, it's like survival of the fittest, it's great, then you okay it for a launch. Then we know what we wanted because the product owner told us what they want. The project manager made sure that we execute the project as is. The business analyst had engagements with the product owner to get exactly what they want. The UX UI designer designed the thing so it's user friendly. We're not gonna have people drop off at like a certain point because the thing is just confusing and you need to be watching YouTube videos to get it to work, you know. And it's been tested by a user. It works just fine. It does exactly what it needs to do. There are no errors. If there's an error, it's your fault. Maybe you don't have data, you know, but the thing works. But yeah, that is the 5 roles that I wanted to go over. You don't need to be a techie to be a techie, right? I'm a non-tech techie and I'm so proud of it. I love my job. I love that I engage with developers, and I like that they're people who are programmers and developers and they code, right? I don't need to do that. I respect that, but it's not for me. And if you've always wanted to be in the tech space, in the IT industry, and you thought you needed to know how to code, you don't. Now you know. And there's so many other roles out there other than the ones that I mentioned. Just do your research. Research and comment down below which of the 5 you think you would like. Let's just say you had to pick. Maybe you like in finance, you know, you are an accountant. You don't care about IT. But if you had to pick, which one do you think you would go for? Which one speaks more to you? And yeah, I think we're done. This was fun. And I'm looking all corporate. Like, okay, anyway, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.